Andrew, do you know who Chase Young is?
Yeah, of course.
No. My point is, I don't either.
Before I said that Cade Cunningham would never be an All-Star, and I just wanted to double down on that. I just.
We're back
What's going
with
on
another.
with Mike's video?
I know.
What's up, everybody? I don't got any of my notes, so we're just gonna wing it today. Let's go. What's going on, Jam Squad? I'm MK. I'm your host. I'm here with Tesla Mace, Drew, and John. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
Doing well, doing well, doing well. How's everybody doing tonight?
All good.
Better than the Lakers.
Ooh.
What?
Coming out hot.
Man, already throwing the punches. Jeez. Okay, let me go into our comments. If you're live with us, make sure you say hi in the comments. We'd love to get to know you. Let us know you're around. We're gonna go right into it. So the Boston Celtics are up now 2-0 against Dallas Mavericks. I know Drew is really hurting about this one. Drew, how do you feel truly about picking the Mavericks in this series?
I feel great about it. I think picking the Mavericks is the only way I can support the Lakers, so I have to do it. You know, like it's got to be what I got to do. The Celtics team looks really good, though. But Mike,
Yes.
do you think Dan Hurley's actually like this amazing coach?
I mean, he's an amazing coach. Yes. Is he an amazing NBA coach? I'm not sure, but in years past, you get offered the Lakers job, you don't turn it down. Just kind of tells you where the franchise is as a whole right now. So
100% agree.
It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Like, if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm like, wait, you're turning down.
And
not only that, you're turning down that contract to.
Coach K turned down the Lakers. Coach K turned down the Lakers for years, man. So he's not the first guy to do it. So
right,
but
right,
similar situation.
So
yeah.
So Drew, would you rather have Dan Hurley or JJ Redick? Because it might have come down to that.
Oh, I actually don't. I don't even think they're considering JJ Redick. I will tell you this: I really do not want Borrego, whoever the guy that they interviewed before, that used to be the coach for the
Pelicans.
Hornets.
Yeah, or
Charlotte. I'm just not excited about that at all. Like, I'd rather keep Ham over that guy. I think, to be honest.
Here's my thing. They're getting someone who they don't want. I mean, or they didn't want, right? So, like, if you're number 2, like, oh, now you want me? Like,
here's my thing.
That wouldn't happen with the Celtics.
Here's my thing. If I'm Dan Hurley and LeBron moved on and I get to take over like a new thing, like I'm going to build this team the way I want to build it with the GM working together for over the next 6 years. That's one thing. I think he might have taken it. But becoming LeBron's coach is probably one of the hardest things to do in the NBA, period. And I kind of agree with his decision. And I don't think he was the right fit. I don't think he's the right person to hire right now if you're planning to continue with LeBron for the next 2 or 3 years. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. So I'm kind of like indifferent that if LeBron's staying, I'm kind of indifferent that the Lakers didn't get him. That's kind of how I see it.
So I mean, why fire Ham then if that's the case?
That's a good point.
Well,
Like anyone you
Ham.
hire's got to go into that situation, right? And potentially having to draft Bronny. I mean, right? Like that's part of the deal.
Well, I think Darvin Ham just wasn't a good coach. I don't know. Like, if anyone who's watched over the last 2 years is kind of like, Lakers have a decent team. They probably overperformed by getting to the Western Conference Finals potentially last season. They got the right matchups before they faced the Nuggets. But it didn't. It never felt like to me that somehow it was all because Darvin Ham, was this amazing coach. Like, it was because the Lakers are the Lakers. They have Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and I know they keep showing those clips of Darvin Ham drawing up plays in in
Drawing up names, you
timeouts.
mean?
He
Drawing up
just like writes
names.
down names and is like yelling things, and everyone's like looking around each other like, what's going on, and nobody knows what's going on. And he sits there with his hands in his pocket and like during the entire game. It's just kind of like, I don't know. He often said the wrong things. So I think just like, if he's not a great coach and the fan base hates him, if you're a Lakers team, like, hey, let's move on, let's try something new. That's kind of what I see.
Do you think it's
And
the fan base though, or do you think it's that it's LeBron that's doing that?
I actually, interestingly enough, the one person who was more vocal that spoke out against Ham was Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
He had some things where he was like, we didn't know what we were doing out there. He said that a few times, basically calling out the coaches in the playoffs, and there was reports like people basically saying that he was saying things to the Lakers team like, hey, this isn't working, and so Anthony Davis is actually even more important to please right now, right? I mean, LeBron is important, but Anthony Davis is going to play for the next 5 years potentially for your franchise. LeBron maybe potentially two will play. So Anthony Davis is, and LeBron's going to keep getting worse because he's just getting older. So
Okay, so so I heard you say happy that Hurley didn't get it. Happy that you don't want Borrego. You don't think Reddick's real. So I mean, where are we going? What
I don't
like
know. I don't know,
you
man.
don't?
I don't know. Seriously, like, I don't know what they're gonna do. Bring Vogel back. I don't know.
Really?
I'd rather have Vogel than Ham. I don't know why they ever fired Vogel, man. They fired Vogel because Westbrook wasn't a good fit.
What
Makes no
about
sense.
Boonhauser?
I thought he went to the Suns.
Uh, did the Suns officially hire him? I didn't know there was a final report.
I thought so. Yeah, I think he took a
Oh,
10
did he?
million. I think he said 10 million a year to go
Oh
to the Suns.
wow.
That's what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but
No, if you aren't, I didn't know. I know there were reports that like the day after, they fired Vogel that
you
they
know
were
what?
considering him, but I don't
Just
know.
take a
Maybe I'm.
flyer. Just take a flyer on JJ. Whatever. Ruin his coaching career. It's all
I'll
good.
take a contract.
Yeah, just
You can
whatever.
fire me if you're not happy with it.
LeBron's the coach anyways. Who cares? Like, they should just let LeBron be the coach. Let's just say let's do what the reality is. He'll run the
Okay, let me ask you this.
rotations.
So, are you ready to move on from LeBron? I mean, like as a Laker fan, are you just like, hey, let's just get a coach and trade LeBron and to whoever team it signs his son? Because
I
I
was
mean, it's a
ready.
very legitimate. It's a very
I,
probable thing that his son's going to get drafted, right? Like, I mean, based on
I
all the reports we've seen.
I was ready 2 years ago, so I'm ready. Yeah, I love LeBron. I mean, he's a great player. He's been, if not top two, like top five at all time, probably. Like, you can't really argue against that. But like, can we win the game? Can him and Anthony Davis win another one? I believe they could have won in 2001, but they got injured. Once they blew that team up with the Westbrook trade, LeBron's a little bit older. I don't think we really had a shot since then to win it all. So we lost to the Nuggets, who got destroyed by the Timberwolves, who then got destroyed by Dallas. Like, where are we in this pecking order? You know what I mean? So unless we have
So,
some overhaul, we're not. I don't
okay,
think we're competing. So
okay. So let's say LeBron's gone. can Anthony Davis and one other player of your choosing, anyone in the league, win a championship right now?
Any player?
Any player. So Anthony Davis and who wins a championship for you as a Lakers?
Any player. Luca. Definitely those two could do it. Besides Luca, maybe. I mean, I actually think him and Jalen Brunson would make a good tandem.
Championship tandem, though, you think?
If you fill in the right pieces, I mean, yeah. It's
Well,
not like it's
with the
only them two.
no, with the current Laker roster is my point. So current Laker roster, adding in one, swapping out LeBron for Jalen Brunson, you winning a championship with the current roster?
Well, no, because you'd have to replace. We need other players that could replace LeBron. LeBron's 6'9", 250, 260, whatever he is, like power forward. Like we would need another power forward as well.
What?
Like
But
we'd have to.
okay, if Luca was there, would Luca do it? Luca for LeBron straight up. You
Yes,
win a championship?
How
I
about
think so.
Tatum?
Maybe.
Or I don't know
Yeah.
if you think Jaylen Brown's better than Tatum, but I mean one of those two.
Only no. Jaylen Brown definitely not.
I agree with. That's my bad.
Jaylen Brown's amazing. He's playing great, but he's not. I just don't see him as somebody who can like be the number one, like distributing the ball and stuff. Like he does all these other things that he complements Tatum actually pretty well. Like they do different things on the court together.
So, with let's say, okay, I don't think there is one player that we can swap LeBron for that would be a 1-for-1 match. Like you, physically,
Yeah,
he just
Luka would
does
be better.
more, right?
Right now,
But if you're Dallas right now, what are you changing to even the series, or even get one up on the series? Little bro, welcome back to the stream.
so there's so many things they have to do, and it's hard because what's different about the Celtics and the other teams they faced is the Celtics are playing them straight up. Like they have Drew Holiday, amazing defender, but probably better than the Timberwolves defenders, which is saying a lot. Derek White, amazing defender. Jaylen Brown, amazing defender. Jason Tatum, good defender too. And then they have Horford, who's always been a great team defender. He's not like
I agree
he's
with
never
that.
been like you don't look at him as like, oh, one-on-one, he's like this great shot blocker and all this stuff, but he's always been really high IQ, smart team defender. He always has been his whole career. He was at Florida. He is in the NBA. And then you have Porzingis, who is just really big. So so one of the issues they're having is the Mavs will score a lot. Kyrie or Luka drive. They do the same play, right? That's all NBA does this, right? But Luka and Kyrie are really good at it. They drive and they kick to the corners for the corner threes, or they get lobs. When whoever comes over, one of their bigs will cut and get a lob. And like that's like their offense. And then Kyrie and Luka taking shots. Well, the Celtics basically just aren't allowing that to happen because they're not leaving their guys.
So,
So
from what I've seen, they've done a very good job of leaving Derek Jones Jr. open on the 3-point line.
right.
And so they're being very smart about who they leave open on the 3-point line, right? I mean, they're not leaving PJ Washington. Although I will say PJ Washington has gotten a lot of good looks, open looks that he's just missed. But I mean, Derek Jones Jr. does not want to shoot a three, and they're basically just leaving him open, right? I mean, and at the end of the day, I just don't know if offensively Dallas can keep up with Boston. I mean, Boston really hasn't played well. Like that's what's crazy about this series. It's 2-0, and Boston shooting probably their worst 3-point percentage of the playoffs, no doubt. Right?
Well,
I mean,
they're both really strong defensive teams. That's the reality. So the difference is the Mavs haven't been able to score 100 points yet. That's what's crazy to me. Like they're averaging less. They're averaging like 90 points for the series, the first two games, because they had 89 and then 95 or something like that. So whatever that in between that is, 92 points in the first two games. That is crazy low. You cannot win in today's NBA if you can't score 100 points. So
Well,
89 and
did you know
98.
this? Did you know this that the Mavs are the worst free throw shooting team of the entire playoff teams that made it?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and not only that, like what's odd is I don't know if you guys saw this last game. It was either end of the third quarter or start of the fourth, and they get Boston got called for a defensive 3 seconds, so technical foul. Luca steps up and misses the free throw, and I'm like, number one, I don't know, maybe I don't know the numbers, but Luca went like 3 for 6 or 4 for 7 from the free throw line. But isn't Kyrie like a pretty good free throw shooter? Like I was like, why is Luca coming up here and stepping up and shooting this? Why isn't Kyrie taking that free throw? Um, I don't know. I think the Celtics are really exposing. Like this Mavericks team does not look good right now. Like they are
No.
just exposing. I'm like, how is this team in the NBA Finals? Um, like seriously, it's a totally different team from who played in Minnesota. I'm like, man, where are they gonna get their points? Right? I mean, Luca's gonna get his.
Right.
Kyrie went back to looking like a six man.
Yep.
Right? I mean, we clowned on him 2 series ago, and then he turned it on, and now all of a sudden he's back to being a role player. Right? And maybe it's that Boston's booing him every time he touches the ball, but they have serious issues. I'm shocked that Dallas is favored by 1 point. Going into
They
tomorrow's game or Wednesday's game.
the crazy thing is that they needed to win game 2. The Celtics had a historically bad shooting from 3 night. I think they shot like under 20% or something like that, and
Right.
they still lost.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. It's hard, like where you go from there. Well, the Mavs do have somewhere where they can go. They need Kyrie to score 30 points, period. And if he can get going, then maybe they can get some of those lobs again. They can get some people open because then the Celtics will have to adjust. But as of right now, if Kyrie's not scoring, then the other guys aren't going to get the open looks they're used to getting, and the Celtics are just going to dominate them defensively, and the Mavs have no shot. So it's going to be tough.
Here's what I found interesting: that a former Wizard has won the championship in 7 straight seasons. I thought that was wild. I'm like, there's no way. Okay, well, here's the list going back to 2017 of all the former Washington Wizards who have gone on and won championships the last 7 years. It was wild. Well, that streak is going to continue this year, regardless of who wins, because both Gafford and Porzingis both played for the Wizards. So it's going to be 8 years straight. I'm like, this is ridiculous, dude. What in the world is going on? This is also the second time in NBA history that 2 black coaches have faced in the NBA Finals. I actually had to look up what the last time was, and that was way back in 1975.
Man.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's old school. That's super old school. And that was when the Cavs and Warriors were going at it. Or no, I'm sorry. Man, I can't even read my own notes. Ridiculous. Anyways, it was a long time ago. I know you guys can't see it on your screen. You mentioned that Kyrie was getting booed out in Boston. They posted this on their jumbotron. I thought it was going to be a little louder in here. Talk about like the outside of like Philly fans. I don't know if there's a more hostile environment than to like rile up a crowd. Maybe in the Palace, the Mallison Palace. But
that's pretty cool. Hey, props to the Celtics media team, man. They're killing it. Like that, something like that. That's awesome. That's genius right there. And I sent you guys too that highlight that they created where it just keeps showing like the offensive player going to the rim, and it's like it makes this continuous. It looks like it's one thing happening. Like
it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool how they set that up. Also, I was going to mention too, one of my favorite things about these finals is watching Joe Mazzulla's press conferences. Like, I never know what that guy's gonna say. Like, he says some things that you're like, oh, I did not expect anyone to say that at an NBA Finals press conference. But he was asked about that. I don't know if you guys saw that. He was asked about that. The two, how he's like one of the two. Like, this is the two black coaches in the NBA Finals for the first time or whatever. And he was just like, huh, I wonder how many Christian coaches have been in the NBA
Yeah.
Finals. And like, it was like silence, like what, like it has nothing to do with what they asked. And so it was kind of like nobody knew what to say. And then they're like, all right, well, moving on. But he always cracks me up. The guy seems like a genuinely good dude though. Like, just focus on things that are more important sometimes, like than just basketball. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Pretty interesting. I was gonna say too is one other thing I wanted to say is Caitlin Clark. She had a higher attended game than the NBA Finals.
Ooh.
Game one and two.
I'll get into
Say that
that
again. Say that again. Oh, okay. I'll wait till Mike says it.
The
so the
you're gonna get there?
NBA, yeah, the NBA officially closed on an 11-year deal worth $76 billion in media revenue, a deal with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon. Okay. Now, just based off of that, I mean, if you're wondering why the WNBA doesn't make as much money as the NBA, this is one of the main reasons. And this is why one of the big things with Caitlin Clark coming into the league was being able to make a more lucrative media deal, right, for the WNBA. Then maybe it will get some revenue share among the players. Now, because of that, I mean,
Can I just mention how happy I am that the NBC is going to be hosting basketball? Like, it just feels right. Like, that's old school right there.
That
Yeah, I
is
agree
Remember
old
with
the
that.
little
school.
peacock logo years
Yep.
ago, playoffs? I mean, that just feels right.
Oh, I didn't move that picture up far enough. Let's see if I can push it in a different. There we go. So Angel Reese was caught on in a press conference saying the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person; it's because of Me Too type deal. Well, somebody had gone through and actually posted the attendance at non-Caitlin Clark games. This is where that attendance is coming in over the past weekend. Okay, topping out at 10,000. Everything's been under 10,000, and the attendance at Caitlin Clark's WNBA games in the past weekend are both over 17,000. You want to talk about creating just a storm of fans coming to watch a game. We just want to watch you play. I'm like, that's motivation right there. That's for sure. Let's see
No
here.
Olympics for, though. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It is very weird. I heard some random stuff. I don't know how much of it was actually true. I didn't want to post any of it though, so I said, whatever.
Yeah, I thought for sure she'd be on the team if nothing else as a reserve or something.
I was about to say, at least as a reserve. I mean, I would think she would have earned it. But
Right.
Why would it?
maybe I'm wrong.
Even if you just were to, like, I heard something about, well, we didn't want Caitlin Clark fans to like throw ruckus about how much limited playing time she was getting. Well, okay, well, no, she's not the number one person in the league.
Correct.
She is still a rookie. There's still a bunch of other players that are still better than she is, even though she's kind of a hot topic right now. But why wouldn't you want the extra ratings?
Yeah.
Even if she wasn't playing, like why not? Why wouldn't you want that extra ratings? An
I agree
extra
with that.
10,000 people watching just because she's on the team? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, especially if it's an Olympic team, right? So then I would assume it would actually be more. I
Right.
really would. I would think the ratings would possibly double from what it was the last time. So very interesting.
Here's the thing. How has USA women fared in international ball? I know they win gold pretty much every time, but is it a global? Is it becoming more of a global similar to the NBA, where like we are literally having to put our good team out there, or I haven't followed it much. I'll be honest, but I mean I don't know if
There
like
has
who are we
been
worried about?
like I think Australia for a long time was really good. There's been other women's teams that are really good.
They have
not
that
just
weird
NBA,
sport
but-
though, right? In Australia, where they like play
Cricket?
basketball with no backboard or
No
something like that.
backboard, yeah.
That's like completely weird. I don't know. I don't know how all that works.
Yeah,
I know we've
it's not
won
the same.
gold though, like 3 straight Olympics or like 5 straight
Something
Olympics.
like that. Yeah. Go ahead, John. What were you saying?
That
Yeah,
other rendition of basketball isn't the same because once a person catches it, like they can only put an arm out, and it's not like real defense. So the other person just has to be a good shooter, but it's not the same basketball that we know. It's really different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird to watch.
Yeah.
In other women's sports, Oklahoma, University of OU have won their 4th straight Women's College World Series. Incredible streak, to be honest with you. I just have to go ahead, Mike.
Did you hear about the so one of the reporters asked Caitlin Clark if she watched game 1 of the NBA finals, and she said no, I was watching the women's college worlds or the women's softball world series.
That's just awesome.
One of my friends is on Oklahoma. She's like, so I was supporting her.
I would love to get there is a girl from that played on the first 2 Oklahoma championship title runs that I really want to get on the podcast. I think it'd be cool to have her. If you follow girls softball or girls fast pitch, Jocelyn Allo is like the NCAA women's record holder for home runs, RBIs, I believe batting percentage or something like that. Something wild. It's absolutely wild. If I can get her on the podcast, I'll rattle off all her stats. Like her story is pretty incredible. But she's from our hometown of Hola. Shout out Hola, H-Town never down. But congrats to the OU girls for continuing that streak. 4 strong, dude. That's hard to do. That is super hard to do.
I was just going to mention women's basketball. Team 2 is China. Team 3 is Australia, and then it's Spain. But they have a point system, and it's not close. Like the U.S. is by far number 1.
Yeah,
and then 2, 3, and 4 are really close to each other. But yeah, the U.S. is like. They have like a point system. The U.S. is like 830 something points, and everyone else is in the 600s basically. So It's kind of it looks like it's a big gap.
JC, what's going on, brother? Miss you, bro. Shout out to JC. I'm gonna take 10 out.
So really quick though, are you guys all changing your picks to the Mavs now that you've seen the first 2 games?
Get out of here with that. Yeah.
and
Mavs
and
and
we're
6.
gonna pick them in. We're gonna pick
You're
them
gonna
in 4,
see it.
right?
Mavs and 6. You'll see you guys. When I'm right, are you guys going to be like, dang, how does he always know, you know?
Well, here's the thing. So we'll pick them in 6, and then when they lose again, then
I think you picked
them in
Minnesota
7.
too.
We got to give you 4 rounds, Andrew, but that's fine.
Yeah. Andrew's never wrong. Never miss. Undefeated.
Undefeated.
Even though I was the only one to pick this matchup in the finals, but Andrew's undefeated.
Oh,
You
man,
did not
there we
pick
go.
this matchup in the finals.
Hey,
just stop.
yes, go back.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe
Yeah,
you
he
need to
did.
rewatch.
Yeah,
Maybe you need to rewatch.
You
I
picked
saw
the
it
Clippers
down.
to win, dude.
Look at that.
You
No,
picked
I'm
the
talking
Clippers
like-
to beat the Mavs. Come on.
I'm not talking
Called it.
from the get go. No, I wouldn't claim that. But
Oh,
last round, you
I'm
guys all
talking
picked
from the
Minnesota.
beginning. Nobody predicted the Mavs. I mean, there might have
No.
been one person in the world, you know, but
I mean,
The
if
Mavs
Kawhi would have
fans.
played, it would have been the Clippers here. But
Well, you know,
It's kind
he
of-
just chose not to, and that's okay. Kawhi.
He didn't.
We'll continue to be Clipper fans, waiting
Yep.
on you, big guy.
yeah.
It's too funny. Too
He
much.
chose not
He'll
to.
only play in the new stadium, guys. That's why he doesn't want to.
Must be nice.
He wants to wait to win in the new stadium.
He
so.
needs the wall of
You-
fans. Give me
The wall of.
fans.
You know what's crazy is you're kind of not wrong. Like, if he decided to play, like they might be in the finals right now, and it'd probably be more of. I mean, the
Might be a little
Celtics
more
wouldn't
exciting.
be able to
Listen,
lock up Harden
us Clipper
and
fans,
Kawhi.
us Clipper fans need to get like hold on to anything we can. So losing to a team that went to the finals makes us feel good.
But
Somehow,
haven't done that plenty of times
Mike
already.
had told me that earlier, and somehow I feel better about it now. But it kills me either way.
Yeah.
Well, as a Laker fan, I'm happy that my team lost to the team that lost to the team that lost because that went to the NBA Finals.
That's hilarious.
On that note, Drew's got a long drive ahead. You staying for the NFL segment, my
No,
man?
I'm gonna check out for today.
signing off?
You guys get it done.
All right, my brother. Have a good
Drive
one.
safe, brother.
Drive
Talk to
safe.
you later.
Appreciate you.
Oh, I think I cut him off early. My bad, Drew.
Bye.
My bad. In NFL news, man, Darren Waller, 31 years of age.
How's that
announces
make you
his
feel,
retirement.
Mike?
Relieved?
I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere for you guys, though, right? I mean, he was a beast that 1 year.
I don't think he came out of nowhere. They basically saw something in him when he was on the practice squad in Baltimore. Baltimore took a chance on him, right? Like never. I don't think he actually got the playing time that he was supposed to in Baltimore. And Raiders did take a chance on him. Like, dude, this guy's like a freak athlete. Like, let's go for it. I think he would have had a better tenure with the Raiders if Derek Carr didn't get hurt, didn't break his leg, right? I mean, if you follow the podcast at all, everybody knows
I thought
my
you were going to say if
feelings.
Derek Carr wasn't the quarterback.
Well, okay. Pre-broken leg.
That might be hand in hand there, Mike.
Derek Carr was a beast and was very, very aggressive. Like wouldn't even second guess. Like I'm gonna go for the extra yardage, right? Oh, I got nothing else open. I'm gonna run. If you watch game film after he broke his leg, it just looked like he was completely timid. The rush would get to him, and it's not even like he would, side reset the pocket or step up into the pocket. It was like he would say, just stay away from my legs and try to lob it. So if he had gone back to like pre-broken leg Derek Carr, I think Darren Waller would have just continued to be a beast. As it panned out, obviously that didn't quite happen.
He got paid though. He got paid to go to the Giants. Yeah,
he did. He got paid a lot of money, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess Raiders saved themselves on having to pay that much money,
right.
Which is great. But I mean, I'm happy that the guy, like, I mean, he's had an incredible past, right? From having to go through rehab, like his story is pretty incredible. And if you listen to his retirement like announcement, like he's a pretty humble guy. Like he's just, I've been absolutely grateful for my platform and for what the NFL has done to me. Like the NFL actually put him in rehab and helped him out in that situation. And the thought, through all of those struggles, and now he's just finally found actual peace in his life and something that he's like happy about. I mean, can't fault the guy. Like, what are you gonna do? Make him play?
Wasn't he dating a WNBA player too?
Yeah, Plum.
Yeah.
Kelsey Plum. Well, they were dating, they
up, right?
married, and then got divorced.
That's
And
what
I
it
don't,
was,
I don't know if that was like, I don't know if he's struggling with other stuff, right? I mean, obviously there were some things there that didn't quite match up because they weren't married for very long. I think they were only married for like a year.
Yeah,
maybe
correct.
2,
It was a year.
just a year, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there's other things going on behind closed doors, and who knows? Who knows if it like he's come out with some songs that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tell his side of the story, right? So I mean, I hope I hope everything goes well for him. I'm glad the guy was able to retire without like some major injury,
Right.
right? Like we see too often. Like the guy tore his ACL and just couldn't recover from it. So I'm glad that it's more him retiring on his own choice and saying like, nah, I'm just kind of ready to move on. Hopefully he figures the rest of his journey out, and wish him the best in that for sure.
Agreed.
Let's see. Here's something completely random. Okay, the most touchdowns scored since 2015. I don't know if you see who's highlighted on there. So you have obviously Derrick Henry,
That's stupid. Zeke.
Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Zeke Elliott, right? And the list goes on. At number 7 is Todd Gurley with 79 touchdowns since 2015. Now, for those who don't follow football, Todd Gurley hasn't played in like 4 seasons.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And he's still on the list? Like, what in the world?
And he's still above Kamara.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. That's a cool little little thing there.
Like, he's above Travis Kelce. With how hot Mahomes has been and them winning Super Bowls, like, what? Seriously? All right.
Yeah, he was definitely used as a
Absolutely nuts.
as
Absolutely
a
nuts.
kind of like third down back, especially goal line back. The later in his career, and he just was able to find the end zone. But that's just interesting that that was a few years ago, and he's still up there.
Dude,
I find it
2020.
interesting that Devonta Adams is up there so high.
Okay, just because he played the last couple of seasons with the Raiders doesn't mean he didn't go off with Aaron
No,
Rodgers.
but I mean, like, I number one, I don't expect a receiver to be that high. I didn't realize he gets that many touchdowns, right? Like, I mean, it's just receivers don't get that many touchdowns usually. And in the top 5, you got 3 receivers there. Like, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a little bit to do with the 2-back system now, right? I mean, outside of Derrick Henry, right? You look at, some of those names now. They all like Kamara is not an all every down back anymore, right?
They got the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and I mean teams are just doing that in general, right? So I don't know. I think that might be the wave of the future is start to see less and less running backs on that list, to be honest with you. Just because of the way the NFL is right now.
I think go ahead, sorry.
Speaking of Travis Kelce, did you know Rob Gronkowski's career yards per reception is at 15 yards. 15 yards per reception, okay? Is actually closer to Randy Moss's 15.6 yards than it is to Travis Kelce's 12.5. I thought that would have been the other way around.
That's really interesting.
So I got a theory on that. It's the first time I've seen this, so it's just forming right now. But
yeah,
okay. If I gave you the option, let's say you're a linebacker, you're a cornerback, safety, and you see Travis Kelce coming at you, or you see Rob Gronkowski coming at you, which one are you more afraid of?
Gronk,
to hit head on, Gronk.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the difference between that is Kelce is a heck of a route runner, right? Like he knows how to find open space, but after the catch, like he goes down, right? I mean, he's a big boy, don't get me wrong, but whereas Gronk doesn't. Like I literally in my head picture Gronk carrying people like 3 yards, you know? So I mean, it's really a different like Travis Kelce is, yes, he's a big man, and he's almost more of like a wide receiver, I would say, than Gronk is a true tight end. Like when I think of the word tight end, like Gronk comes to my mind, like strong guy, right? Big guy who's just gonna truck people over, right? Fight for that extra yard. It's kind of like Kittle, right? Like Kittle,
Yeah.
Kittle very much reminds me of that. Like they seek out the contact, right?
Right.
Whereas Kelsey is an oversized receiver, in my opinion, very good. I mean, I'm not. Don't get me wrong, one of the greatest ever. But I mean, I just don't see him like searching for contact, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So
I
I
think
don't know, just a thought.
my favorite, one of my favorite moments in that Tom Brady roast was Gronk up on the stand, and he was talking about like, dude, half of the time I didn't even run the right route. You know,
Yeah.
I just would run a straight up streak, and Tom Brady, well, what's Gronk doing out there? Oh, touchdown! Yeah, what are you going to say now? Like, coach can't say anything because I would score.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Robo said it's because Kelsey was a quarterback. That's why he's soft. Wait, hold up.
Makes
I take
sense.
offense to that. I play quarterback. What are you trying to say? Oh,
Hey,
come on, bro.
What's surprising though is Gronk wasn't that heavily recruited out of Arizona, right?
Right,
So
right.
my Wildcats right there.
Yeah,
You can't see it. Bear down.
That's
I love the Wildcats,
had to
but
throw
it's
that in
interesting.
there.
I actually went to a Wildcats game a few years ago versus USC. Buddy of mine, and we took the wives and went out to a U of A game. I'm a big U of A fan. And oh, he's calling you soft, huh, Mike?
Shame
um,
on you.
and it was interesting because like you walk around the campus and keep in mind this was 9 years ago ish, 8 years ago, right? And but you didn't really see a whole lot of Gronk stuff, you
Yeah,
know, and we were kind of surprised. Like you would think U of A would be, hey man, this is the best player to ever come out of our school, right? And I know since they've retired his jersey and there's a little bit more, but I mean,
yeah.
we commented on it like, how are you not like Gronk University at this point? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like seriously, like this guy is what put you on the map. I mean, you're a basketball school, you're not a football school, but you have
Right.
arguably one of the greatest tight ends of all time. You know, who graduated from your university. Like you need to recognize that. So I don't know, I thought it was kind of interesting.
You're
Well,
not. You're not
I
wrong.
think I think what Mike said that is maybe the reason why he wasn't heavily sought after. I think in the beginning because he didn't do great with his interviews, and Gronk actually came out to say that when the Patriots interviewed him, they were on the fence about him because they asked him, you know, what type of routes that he likes to run, and he said just the ones that I'm open on. I'll just run a route, and then you throw it to me. He's like, coach, and you throw it to me, and I'll be open. And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh man!" But he's not wrong, right? He's always open. He always catches the ball. So
Yeah.
And then he proved him right.
Made Belichick look like a genius, right?
right.
Pretty much. All right, we're gonna take this kid. Apparently, all you gotta do is just throw him the ball,
Run around.
and they'll just carry everybody into the end zone. I mean, it is what it is. Whatever.
Hey, I mean, and he's been. I mean, for all the stupid jokes that people make about him, like from a business standpoint, I mean, his post NFL career is got to be one of the highest up there, right? I mean,
Oh, definitely.
he's on Fox, you know, NFL kickoff, right? He's on Subway commercials. He's kicking field goals or attempting to kick field goals in these games. Like, you know, from a business standpoint, I think the guy is actually pretty savvy.
He surrounded himself with good people. I think. And
Or
that's good
yeah,
for him. Yeah.
absolutely.
Been absolutely amazing. You guys ready for this NFL season, man? I'm already ready for it to start. I'm actually looking forward to going down to Costa Mesa.
There you go.
Hopefully within the next week or so, I believe it is. Maybe catch some of the Raiders training camp.
Nice. Nice.
No, but I'm like truly excited for this NFL season to start. I can't wait because the NFL season is right around the corner. We got to get through like this really short period of getting over. Okay, NBA finals can come go. Let's go. Come on, hurry up,
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's start the preseason already.
Hey, before we go on to another topic, I want to ask John how he feels about his pick in the hockey Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, so I think I picked Edmonton, so I appreciate that, Mike. But I mean, if we're gonna talk about, and the reason why I picked them is they keep beating my Kings, and so I'm like, well, I would assume that they're gonna win it. But the Florida Panthers are so strong in this Stanley Cup final, it's ridiculous. And I mean,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
talking about their defense. In the last game, and I had a stat here. So in the last game, I think
32
uh
shots or something.
yeah, and 18 saves. Like the goalie's a monster. The defensive players are just playing lights out. It was a 4-1 game, but Panthers scored 3 at the end. But it's just because basically the Panthers are just shutting this Oilers team down. And I'll be honest, and I didn't think I'd be able to say this at the start of the Stanley Cup. I think the Panthers can take it in 4. I do. Like the way that they're
Really?
playing,
Dang.
this defense is not going to let it up, and good for them. They're playing like guys from a different planet, and they really want this because this would be their first one. I think Tesla said that before. This will be their first Stanley Cup ever, and good for them. And they are playing like it's everything to them. So they got a couple more to go, but they are kicking butt right now.
Yeah, I mean, usually hockey playoffs comes down to goalie play, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like in years past. I mean, obviously you had Dallas, you had Colorado, very high scoring teams a couple years ago, but the goalie play is typically what's remembered a lot of times, especially
Yep.
in the finals. And I'll be honest, I didn't think Florida had this goalie, play. I didn't think they were. I mean, I knew they were decent. I knew they were good, right? But I just thought this is Edmonton, who's scoring that will,
Yeah.
right? I
Yep.
mean, power
Bobrovsky.
play, number one power play team in the hockey league, and I think they scored on, if I'm not mistaken, like 70% of their in the playoffs on their power plays. And
Yeah.
then here in game one, first period, they go down 1-0. They get this power play shut down. I think they had like 2 shots during the whole power play, right? I'm like, what is going on? And then Florida stat pops up, 36 of their last 38 power plays stopped, right? Without giving up a goal. And I'm like, okay, so I mean, this goalie, I didn't think they could win another game. I mean, game one, 32 shots for one team, 14 for the other, I believe. I don't have
Yeah.
the stats in front of me, but I'm like, and you're telling me a team that shot 14 times won the game, right?
Yes,
I
yes,
mean, it
you're
was
100%
insane.
right.
Like, and I'm like,
They're very efficient with their shots.
yeah,
And they basically took, so the Oilers shot, what was it, 30 plus times, but they were wild shots if you saw it. So
right.
I don't know how many of our viewers know about hockey, but with the puck on the ice, the puck can get passed in different spots and it goes pretty quick. But you pass it from one side of the ice to the other, and that's what Edmonton was doing, was a lot of passing, but they were wild passing and then wild shots. And so with wild shots, and I was a goalie, I played with goalie for a year, but um, with wild shots, you just have to have your body just slide kind of at an angle, and you're taking away an angle, almost like you would for soccer, right? So you're playing the angles game on a very short goal. But what this guy does so well is he takes a look away. So the angle might be where there looks like a gap, and I'll just use the camera. So if I'm a goalie sitting right here like this, I have a gap here, and then a gap here that I can try to score on. And what he does is he maneuvers his body with the angles to take some of these gaps away based off of how these guys shoot, right? And he
Hmm.
did such a good job. And then defensive players kind of, and I'm going to use like this as if it's their heads, they kind of slide into these gaps here too, where they're really just helping to block basically any holes that you can see through the net. So they might have a glove that they might touch or a stick that they put out there, but they have just done so well in deflecting this puck and not getting it close to the goal that it was ridiculous. And the Oilers needed that many shots just to get close,
Yeah.
Right.
especially for game one. And game two, it wasn't.
Yeah. Well,
It was
game
just
one,
locked
too.
down. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, it was just lockdown defense. I love it. It's so amazing to watch this Panthers team do what they're doing right now. They are on a run.
Yeah. I mean, game one, two plays really stood out to me. One in the first period and one early in the second period were one-on-ones. Edmonton
Yeah.
had him one-on-one, and he had 2 leg saves to prevent the goal. I mean, they were really incredible. I mean, one-on-one in hockey, these guys score 50, 60% of the time. Like, I mean, I'm
Correct.
talking breakaway
Correct.
one-on-one with the goalie. And I mean, 2 times. It looked like literally a replay of the first one. Sticks his left leg out. The guy tries to wrap it right in the goal, just hits his leg. It looked like it happened 2 times within I think it was like a 6-minute game time, ice time span. But I mean, that's where I was like, okay, maybe these guys are destined, right? Like maybe it means more, right? Which is weird to say, but that you could see it.
And let me tell you something for anybody who doesn't really know too much about hockey, especially for the goalie position. These, and this is kind of gross, but these pads are heavy. And then on top of that, you add X amount of sweat, which I know it is what it is, but like these pads become 20 to 30 pounds heavier with the sweat that you put in there. So imagine, and some of the it's almost like acrobats, right, Mike? So as a goalie, when that leg comes out, that's really heavy to pick your leg up and move out. And then you're sliding doing the splits. Like the goalies are some of the most agile like people on earth. And that's for all the exercising and training that they have to do. But then you're picking up this 30-pound pad trying to block something. And then the puck and the play gets shifted to the other side. So now you're reaching with a stick or a glove and you're like fully extended on the ice. And oh man. Goalie positions are so crazy because it's so exciting, and you're so athletic being able to play that position.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah,
absolutely impressive. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Jam Packed. We hope you enjoyed our discussions on the latest in the world of sports. Remember to like, subscribe, and review our podcast. Stay updated with all things sports. Join us next time for more analysis and insights. Until then, stay active, stay informed, and keep cheering for your favorite teams. We are Jam Packed. I'm MK. I'm here with Tesla Mace and John. We're signing off. Make sure to play hard, stay safe, and keep the passion of sports alive. Until next week, we are Jam Packed. Later, fellas.
See you guys.